מיד בעוד דקות אחדות יחל טקס הענקת פרסי וולף. כולם מוזמנים לשבת, מי שעוד לא עשה את זה. אנא, העבירו טלפונים ניידים למצב שקט. על פי כללי משכן הכנסת, הטקס יתקיים בשעה העברית, הוא יחל בשעה 8 בדיוק. אם מישהו צריך אוזניות
Anybody here needs earphones for a simultaneous interpretation, please raise your hands and you will be approached.
If anyone needs help with the translation, he's welcome to raise his hand and someone will approach him. ההפקה תיגש, אל דאגה.
עכשיו עוד פעם נכבה, שמעתי, עכשיו אני לא שומע. אני לא שומע.
כאילו, בוא נראה איפה אתה מחובר, ואז נבין.
אוקיי.
מאיפה...
לפני ממש 10 שניות שמעתי, ותרגמתי, לא יודע אם מישהו הקשיב לי.
כן, מקשיבים לך.
שום דבר לא התנתק פה.
אני יכול לשאול את ה...
אני צריך איכשהו, אם יש איזשהו משהו שקורה, פתאום אני לא שומע משהו, אני צריך מספר טלפון או משהו כזה, או איך אני בעצם יוצר קשר איתכם, כי זה שעה שלמה. אני לא יכול לקשר, לדבר איתכם, אבל אני גם לא יכול...
ערב טוב וברוכים הבאים לטקס הענקת
Welcome
פרסי
to
וולף
the award ceremony for the World Foundation. It's been awarded since 1978 by the Wolf Foundation for scientists, renowned scientists and artists from all over the world for their unique contribution to humanity and for friendly relations between nations regardless of nationality, race, color, religion, gender, or political orientation. Through this award, the foundation appreciates artists and scientists for their groundbreaking achievements in science and artists to advance all of humanity, and we're happy and moved to be here today in this festive event. In the past 2 years, we were unable to have this ceremony in the current format in the Knesset because of COVID restrictions. Us being here today together isn't something we can take for granted, and that too became possible because of the efforts of the best minds in the world, which led to groundbreaking achievements in a short time. This year, 1,000 award recipients will receive the awards. 8 of those laureates are from the sciences and 3 are from the arts in architecture. And I'm honored to call onto the stage the laureates of the Wolf Foundation Prize for this year. They deserve that applause. The winner of the Agricultural Prize is Professor Pamela Ronald. Professor Pamela Ronald. The recipients of the Chemistry Prize are Professor Benjamin Karavat. Professor Caroline Bertozzi. And Professor Bonnie Bassler. The laureates of the Physics Prize from the Foundation are Professor Franz Krauss. Professor Anne Lhuillet. Professor Paul Corkum. The Wolf Prize laureate in mathematics is Professor George Lustig. The Wolf Prize laureates in architecture are Professor Elizabeth Diller, architect Elizabeth Diller, architect Yoshiharu Tsukamoto, and architect Momoyo Kaijima. And now, the members of the ceremony presidium will enter the hall, and we will rise as the President of the State of Israel and the members of the presidium make their way to the dais. His Excellency, the President of the State of Israel, Mr. Isaac Herzog, accompanied by the Minister of Education and Chair of the Wolf Foundation, Dr. Yifat Shasha Biton, Deputy Speaker of the Knesset, Evgeny Sova, and the Acting Chairperson of the Wolf Foundation Council, Professor Dan Shechtman. The audience may be seated. His Excellency, the President of the State of Israel, Mr. Isaac Herzog, Minister of Education and Chair of the Wolf Foundation, Dr. Yifat Shasha Biton, Deputy Speaker of the Knesset, Member of Knesset, Evgeny Sova, Acting Chairperson of the Wolf Foundation Council, Professor Dan Shechtman, the 10th President of the State of Israel, Mr. Reuven Rivlin, who has been accompanying the Wolf Foundation for decades and honors us with his presence tonight as well. Ambassadors, heads of foreign missions, members of the Wolf Foundation Council and trustees, presidents of universities and rectors, presidents of national academies, laureates of the Wolf Prize over the Generation, Nobel laureates, prize recipients, and honored guests. Good evening. This is the 44th time that the annual Worth Prize is awarded. This prestigious prize has an acclaimed international reputation, and since the foundation was established, 365 scientists won the prize from all over the world. Tonight, 11 laureates will join them. All of them are the cream of the crop in their field. They received their award here in the Knesset, in a hall named for Marc Chagall, who was also a Wolf Prize laureate. Dr. Ricardo Wolf, an inventor, a diplomat philanthropist, believed in the power of art and science to improve, to develop, to change, to connect and to bring people together. Through the Wolf Foundation, he dreamed of advancing science and art around the world. I'm convinced, he said, that science and art are doing more to benefit humanity and the relations among peoples than what all of the politicians and diplomats in the entire world have done. And I won't argue with that. The foundation was the culmination of all of those ideals. This year's awards are given in 5 fields. 4 are in the sciences, agriculture, chemistry, mathematics, and physics. And in the arts, the prize will be awarded in the field of architecture. And I'm honored to invite, we'll have a movie.
Welcome to the Wolf Foundation Awards ceremony. This evening, we will be honoring science and art for the benefit of mankind. Wolf Foundation was founded in 1976 by Dr. Ricardo Wolf. His spirit guides the effort of the Wolf Foundation in promoting excellence and recognizing the contribution of the world's best scientists and artists for their significant contribution to humanity and friendship among people. Dr. Wolf believed in Jerusalem's destiny as the capital of wisdom and peace. The Wolf Prize has a prestigious international reputation and is considered the second most important award after the Nobel Prize. Over 30% of the laureates received the Nobel Prize for their groundbreaking achievements later on. In sciences and art. The prize is awarded by a number of juries made up of distinguished global academics and professionals to more than 320 outstanding artists and scientists from across the world. In addition, the Wolf Foundation grants the Krill Prize for young, promising researchers. Ingeborg Bachmann Scholarship, established by Anselm Kiefer for promising artists, as well as scholarships for excellent students. The Wolf Foundation celebrates and honors those who have demonstrated excellence in their own fields, and is confident that future generations will aspire to equal, if not exceed, their illustrious achievements. The Wolf Foundation, a seal of excellence.
I'm honored to call the President of the State of Israel, Mr. Isaac Herzog, to the stage to say a few words. Honored guests, Minister of Education and Chair of the Wolf Foundation, Member of Knesset Shasha Biton, Deputy Speaker of the Knesset Yevgeny Sova, the Acting Chair of the Karen Wolf Foundation, Council Professor Dan Shechman, the Ambassador of Japan, Ambassador of Canada, the Director of the Wolf Foundation, the members of the Council and the trustees, the laureates of the prize over the generations, the presidents and rectors of universities in Israel and abroad, the laureates of the main prize, and their family members, honored guests. I'm very happy to have this moving and exciting opportunity for us to come here together at the Knesset, where we champion the laureates of the Wolf Award for 2022. Several months ago, we convened not far from here in the President's house, where we announced the recipients of this prestigious prize. And this year, we all have the ability and the privilege to meet each other face to face here in this forum of Israeli democracy, and to give this prestigious award to the best of the best, to the most outstanding in the world. They deserve a round of applause. I would like to express my condolences to the head of our legislature, Miki Knesset, for the loss of his sister. Honored guests, this auditorium, the Chagall Hall, which has a triptych done by Chagall, sometimes looks like it was taken right out of fables. It's full of both covert and overt beauty, full of imagination and history. It's full of inspiration that connects the past with the present. The uniqueness of this hall is in that everything here is accurate for this tapestry, and each time it invites different insights, different understandings, different reflections on the depth from the depths of the soul of the observer. Now, if we look at it from a different angle than we were used to doing so, if we look at it at different times of day or at different times of the night, if we look at early times of our lives, or at each of these times, we will get a different and richer understanding of the incredible creations of Marc Chagall, one of the greatest artists of the previous century, a Jewish and universal artist. And each time we will rediscover the history of our people and the story of the eternal book of books. Thousands of times I walked by Chagall's paintings and works, and each time I stop to admire the creatorship, the creation, and this kaleidoscope exposes a new reflection that I've never looked at, or a new angle, and mainly endless richness. And you, the 11 laureates of the prize, have the privilege of having that honor, that with your very clear light that you've lit our world with. And in this way, you've created and or exposed a new level in the very roots of our existence as humans, in the common global kaleidoscope we're all part of. Here we are all celebrating the way that each and every one of you has contributed to the way that we view and understand the world that we all share and the universe, and the new ways that you have charted for us that make this kaleidoscope radiant and even more progressive. Honored guests, we've convened here today for one more and no less important reason, in order to emphasize and to champion a value that each and every one of you has given us, the value of hope. By looking at you, the brilliant minds and experts, and the understanding that even when you didn't know where your journey will lead you, you were full of faith and the belief that will bring special value to humanity. You always try to break through the boundaries of human minds, and this fills me with hope and the belief that that reality can always be changed and improved. And it's with that hope, we are all dependent on that hope. I would like to thank the administration of the Wolf Foundation, and headed by the Professor Dan Shechmer, the Nobel Prize laureate, for the professionalism, the commitment, and a lot of work and thought were at the foundation of the selection process. Again, thank you very much to the administration and to everybody who contributed, and a few words in English.
Ladies and gentlemen, this prize is a living practice of the vision of Dr. Ricardo Wolf, a great man whom I had the pleasure of knowing in my own childhood. During his distinguished service as a distinguished diplomat who built his home in Israel during its early years, Ambassador Wolf put his efforts towards establishing an award that would recognize and honor the people who stretch the boundaries of what is possible and keep conquering new frontiers of human achievement. Honorable laureates, today you are joining an exclusive community, a tight group of people who have imprinted the story of human civilization with their dreams and with the spirit of discovery that animated them. From the holy city of Jerusalem, from the shrine of Israeli democracy, we applaud you all as we delight in the exchange and dialogue that fertilizes and enriches what each of us as human beings has separately. I therefore urge you to continue your important mission to search, to reveal, to enrich your lives and ours. I congratulate you on what you have sought out, on what you have accomplished, and on your dazzling addition to our kaleidoscope. I commend the Wolf Foundation's management and team for drawing our collective attention to the heights and the nuances of human achievement. And I voice my deepest faith in a future we cannot yet imagine, and yet we trust to be true. אני מלא אמון בעתיד, שאיננו יכולים עדיין כלל לדמיין, אך בה בעת בטוחים אנו בקיומו.
That's future, but we are sure that it exists. Thank you. Thank you very much to the President of the country for the inspiring words. And now we'll hear from the Minister of Education and the Chair of the Wolf Foundation, Dr. Yifat Shasha Biton. Please come on up. Good evening, everybody. President of the State of Israel, Mr. Herzog, the Deputy Speaker of the Knesset, Member of Knesset Evgeny Sova, the Acting Chair of the Karen Wolf Foundation, Professor Dan Shechman, Ms. Dalit Stauber, the Director General of the Education Ministry, the Director General of the Foundation, ambassadors, heads of foreign missions, members of the Wolf Foundation Council, rectors and presidents of the universities, the presidents of the national academies, and laureates of the prize over over the generations. Nobel Prize laureates, laureates and honored guests, good evening. This evening is exciting for two reasons. First of all, because of our festive resumption of awarding this prize in this impressive ceremony in this beautiful hall, face-to-face, this new auditorium in the Knesset, just like we did it before COVID. And this, for the second reason, because the awarding of this prestigious prize is a tribute to you, the laureates, for your groundbreaking contribution to benefit society and humanity. The path you have taken until reaching your marvelous achievements paves the way for the researchers, scientists, and creators, a path of in-depth exploration, which at times is fraught with challenges and complexities, alongside an endless dedication to the vision that crystallized in your imagination and thoughts, a vision that is entirely based on the power of ingenuity and human invention, which you bring to new heights. As I delved deeper into reading about your discoveries, I was increasingly moved, and you've proved that the sky is not the limit for you either, not the limit for achievements and successes. Your work, which is pioneering, original, and innovative day by day through your imagination and technology, has one goal: to better and to improve society with food, medicine, the diagnosis of illnesses, mathematical understanding, and impact on the urban space. You've dedicated your lives to the advancement of humanity and have reached great achievements that impact society at large. The Nobel laureate in physics, Isidor Isaac Rabi, described one of the reasons that he became a scientist. Many of the mothers he had known asked their children after school, "Did you learn anything new today?" But his mother used to ask him, "Izzy, did you ask a good question today?" What a wonderful question. I believe that the ability to ask, to be curious, and to demonstrate your ideas that make the world a better place are what ignite that burning desire within you to become prolific and exceptional scientists and artists. As Minister of Education and the Chair of Higher Education and the Chairperson of the Wolf Foundation, I know that the future of the world rests on education, which is the key to striving to achieve greater knowledge and excellence in all fields. The 21st century presents us with life-changing challenges and developments, and education must move forward in line with those changes and allow students at all levels to acquire the right tools for a reality that's changing every day. Because the role of education, among other things, is in creating a new generation that believes in its capabilities within this new and changing world. The educational system in Israel is currently leading a significant change in the fields of humanities and social sciences that will allow students to learn out of curiosity and choice, out of a personal connection to the content, while acquiring skills that are relevant to the current era. The goal of education, which we see today, is to enable educational, cultural, and economical flourishing everywhere, and to provide an equal opportunity to reduce gaps. In my view, the best way to create interest and curiosity is the way that leads to excellence, as demonstrated in your achievements, laureates of the prize. You are a beacon of excellence, an example that one can dream of, and for people to soar, and through the power of science and art, that the world can be led to a better place. Tikkun Olam is one of the basic values in our Jewish sources. This is a Jewish and Israeli commitment to the constant pursuit of bettering humanity. I would like to thank the Wolf Foundation, which acts as an ambassador of the State of Israel and of Jewish culture, for this lofty goal of Tikkun Olam by awarding this prize every year to renowned scientists and artists for their achievements, for humanity, and for the friendly relations between peoples, for your exciting work in promoting scientific research and artistic excellence all over the world. The State of Israel thanks you and is proud of you all. Much success to all of you. Thank you very much, Your Excellency, and I'm now honored to invite the Deputy Speaker of the Knesset, Member of Knesset Yevgeny Sova, to say a few words to us. His Excellency, Mr. President Herzog, Yifat Shasha Beaton, Professor Dan Shechtman, and honored guests. First of all, I want to say it's a great honor for me to be here tonight to participate in this moving ceremony and basically to represent the Knesset. When I began writing my speech, at the very beginning, I found myself dealing with just one question, a very simple but complex question as well. What is education, essentially? There are some very dignified people who have dedicated many years of their lives to research, to science, to developing science, and basically you have advanced world science and science in Israel as well. Can you define in one sentence what education is? It seems rather clear. Education starts from kindergarten, from school, then on to university, the academic world, and so on. But there are different types of education. For instance, one person would say that education is first and foremost values. Another person might say that it begins from the home. A third person might say that education is first and foremost a lot of knowledge. I'll give you my definition on education. There are two moments when a person cannot even theoretically experience. One of them is birth, because we don't remember our birth when we emerge into this world, and death that nobody has told us of. And whatever happens between those two moments is education. We were born to learn all of our lives, and it's never too late to learn, right? That's what they say. Now the question is, what do we learn and how we learn? And also, who teaches us? Up until 15 years ago, when in the Mediterranean they found natural gas, it was customary to say that the state of Israel does not have any natural resources, but it has the most important resource, the human resource, the minds that advance Israeli science and global science. Israel must always remain a country that advances science and keeps and maintains its own minds. And it manages to do so inter alia thanks to help from scientists like you. And therefore scientists that get assistance from the Wolf Foundation. The first thing that I did ask for was to be a member of the Education Committee, and the minister is doing excellent work here, and the Education Committee in the Knesset is also doing excellent work. I think that education is one of the most important topics in Israeli politics, and it affects all of us as citizens. We all make our own choices in life. My vision is that the state of Israel, there wouldn't be any difference between somebody born in Kfar Saba, Ra'anana, or as opposed to somebody born in Mitzpeh Ramon, Rahat, or elsewhere. My vision is that there won't be one boy or girl in Israel that will give up on their dream to learn in college because they couldn't afford it. It's true that ultimately not everybody is going to become a professor and they won't reach world renown. And not everybody will have discoveries and patents, but we will never know what we've missed if we don't allow every person to dream their dreams and to get a higher education. This equality happens thanks to you and thanks to the foundation, among other things. We as government are doing a lot. Several weeks ago, we passed a law to give scholarships to released soldiers. About 100 million shekels is for combat soldiers and for economically challenged soldiers. We have lots more to do, and we will continue to operate. And please allow me to complete my speech here on a personal note. I am married to a scientist, a doctor of biology, my wife Marina. I started dating her 15 years ago when she was still studying for her bachelor's degree at a college in Jerusalem. After that, she did her master's and PhD, and I was in all of those ceremonies for graduation from our first, second, and third degrees. I experienced how difficult it is to be a scientist. There are moments of crisis. There are moments where you're waiting for the outcomes of your research, and it doesn't always work out for you. I saw my wife in those situations, and I always tried to support her. On the way, you children are born, and you're constantly within that vicious cycle where you're somehow integrating science with your life and with your work. I want to conclude by saying congratulations to all of you for winning the prize. Continue to advance global science and Israeli science. I commend you and I thank you for the privilege of speaking here before you. Thank you very much. Thank you to Member of Knesset Yevgeny Sova, and I'm honored to call up Professor Dan Shechtman, the Laureate for Physics and the Nobel Prize for Chemistry, and the acting president of the Wolf Foundation, to say a few words. Thank you very much. His Excellency the President, Minister of Education, Deputy Speaker, members of the Foundation, as honored guests. For the guests here to understand what we're talking about, with your permission, I will speak in English.
So that you can understand me. Mr. President, Minister of Education, Vice Chairman of the Knesset. This event in the Knesset in Jerusalem, the capital of the State of Israel, is a climax in a series of events that constitute the week of the Wolf Prize events. During this week, the laureates visited universities, met faculty and students. They were inspiring students and gave lectures and talks, and they were role models for many. Thank you so much for that. We were asked recently by a major journal if we have gender discrimination in our selection. Now, if you look at the laureates, you see that almost 50% of them are men. We do not discriminate against men. Let me say a few words about the selection process. Nominations of hundreds of the best candidates, scientists, and architects come from all over the world. Very many of them, and all of them are the best in their field. We have to choose the best of the best. And this is a major task. The international committees that we have, that constitute major scientists and architects from around the world, have very tough task to select the best of the best. We, the Wolf Foundation Council and Board of Trustees, headed by Zev Abalis, are very lucky volunteers. We all are volunteers, and we are so lucky. Every year, we meet and interact with the best scientists and artists of the world. What a job. Churchill said, in a long sentence, I'll make it short, never so many owed so much to so few. He, of course, referred to the RAF pilots, Royal Air Force pilots. But it is also true, and even more so, for the world-leading scientists that literally save the world from disasters and make our modern life better all the time, year after year. Let me give a few examples. When Fritz Haber invented a way to make ammonia, and Bush joined him to make the Haber-Bush process, they saved the world from famine. Otherwise, we would not have enough crops to feed the world. They saved the world, literally. When Alexander Fleming invented penicillin, that was later on, 17 years later, became a product, he saved the world from simple infections that killed people. It sounds unreasonable today with antibiotics available. Moderna and BioNTech invented within 1 year and produced billions of vaccines for everybody in the world, 1 year. And now we also have medications. So science and supported by technology is really changing our world. I want to say a word about quantum mechanics. I know that everybody knows about quantum mechanics. Quantum mechanics is what brings us transistors, communication systems. Everything that creates modern life is based on quantum mechanics. Albert Einstein, the greatest scientist that ever lived, did not believe in quantum mechanics. He said, God does not play dice. Everything is deterministic. He was not right. God plays dice. If you know some quantum mechanics, you know that. If you don't know, you can call God. It's local call from Jerusalem and ask him. I want to mention two names that really runs this operation. Hannah Canetti, who is now a little sick and could not join us. She is heading the whole operation of the Wolf Prize. And she's a wonderful lady that runs the show year after year. Laureate is our locomotive. She pulls the train of the Wolf Foundation. Dear laureates, now you are an integral part of the Wolf Prize family. Soon, you'll go back to your work and to continue to innovate, discover, and help building a better world. Thank you all for coming to share with us the Wolf Prize event this year.
תודה רבה, פרופסור שכטמן, ועכשיו חמישיית כלי הנשיפה תל אביב תנגן בלדה על החיים הטובים מתוך אופרה בגרוש מאת קורט וייל. בבקשה. תודה לחמישיית
Thank
כלי
you to the
נשיפת תל
Tel
אביב.
Aviv Wind Quintet.
תהליך הבחירה בזוכים
The
בפרס
Wolf
וולף
Prize
הוא
laureate
מורכב
selection
וקשה.
process is tough and
ועדות
complicated.
השיפוט בחנו
The jury
בדקדקנות מאות
committees
מועמדים,
carefully
כולם
evaluated
מהשורה
hundreds
הראשונה
of
בתחומם,
candidates, all of
מתוכם
whom are
נבחרו
leaders in their
מסיבות
fields, from whom the
לנגד
laureates
עיניהם
were
של
selected.
השופטים
The
עמדו
juries
הישגיהם
reviewed
פורצי הדרך של המועמדים,
the achievements
חשיבתם
of the
המקורית,
groundbreaking
עמדת
achievements,
השפעתם
their
על
original
חוקרים
thinking,
ואומנים
that have a
אחרים
great impact on
והרצאה
other
על
researchers, artists, and human society at
11
large.
היום מצטרפים לנבחרת
Today's 11
מופלאה
laureates
ומפוארת
join
של
a
טובי המדענים
wonderful
והאומנים
and
בעולם,
glorious group of the
אשר
best
זכו
scientists
בפרס
and artists in the world who have won this prestigious prize. And now on to the awards. First, the sciences, and then the arts. I'm honored to invite Dr. Tzipi Landau, a member of the Wolf Foundation Council, to present the decision of the prize committee for the Wolf Prize in Agriculture for 2022. The Wolf Prize in Agriculture for 2022 is awarded to Professor Pamela Ronald from UC Davis. Professor Ronald is being awarded the Wolf Prize for pioneering work on the resistance of rice to disease and its tolerance to environmental stress. One of the greatest challenges of our time is to feed the world's population with enough food as it grows without impacting the environment and nature. Pamela Ronald has spent 3 decades studying rice, which is the main staple for more than half of the world's population. Her discoveries have advanced our understanding of basic biological processes and enhanced sustainable agriculture and food security for the entire world's population. The Ronald's research team isolated a gene that can allow rice to survive flooding and increases yields by 60% compared to conventional varieties. Her research facilitated the development of flood-tolerant rice varieties, which are now grown by more than 6 million farmers in India and in Bangladesh. In those countries, 4 million tons of rice, which are enough to feed 30 million people, are lost each year because of flooding. Ronald's breakthrough research on plant health and protection has major implications on studies on resistance to infectious diseases in both plants and animals. Ronald's lectures and writings have established a new paradigm where biotechnology and organic agriculture are integrated as a foundation for sustainable farming and as a way for environmentalists and technologists to coexist. For all of this, the Wolf Prize in Agriculture is awarded today to Professor Pamela Ronald.
I would like to express my deepest gratitude to the Wolf Foundation. This award is a great honor for myself, the University of California, Davis, and for my laboratory team and collaborators. I am lucky to have spent my career at UC Davis, which has been an ideal environment to carry out the research recognized by this award. My heartfelt thanks to all the scientists who I have hosted in my laboratory, whom I have had the privilege to work with. I am incredibly grateful for their creativity and dedication. I benefited during my career from collaborations with Dave McKill, Gurdjieff Kush, and many others at UC Davis, the International Rice Research Institute, and other institutions around the world. I'd like to thank my brother Rick, daughter Audrey, and cousin Vivian for making the trip to Israel this week, as well as my husband and co-author Raoul Adamchak for his continuous support. A special thanks to my colleague Sal Birdman for hosting us. Finally, I would like to thank my mother Trish, as well as my father Robert, who passed away last month. Like Ricardo Wolf, Robert was born in Germany and moved to Cuba. Robert reminded his children and grandchildren very often of the importance of education and from learning from people with different perspectives. He would have been so pleased to be here today. Thank you.
מעניקים
They are now awarding
את הפרס.
prize.
אני מתכבדת להזמין את פרופסור אהוד קינן, חבר מועצת קרן וולף, להציג את החלטת ועדת הפרסים בפרס וולף בכימיה.
The Wolf Prize in Chemistry for 2022 is awarded jointly to three scientists, Professor Bonnie Bassler from Princeton University, to Professor Carolyn Bertozzi from Stanford University, and to Professor Benjamin Cravat from the Scripps Research Institute. Professors Bassler, Bertozzi, and Cravat received the 2022 Wolf Prize for Chemistry for their outstanding contributions to the understanding of the chemistry of intercellular communication and for inventing chemical methodologies to study the roles of carbohydrates, lipids, and proteins in such biological processes. Professor Bonnie Bassler. Is awarded the Wolf Prize for her work that elucidated the roles of chemical communication between bacteria. Bassler has made important discoveries revealing how quorum sensing is used by bacteria for both virulence and for communicating across species. Bassler has showed that bacteria are multilingual. Her studies provide insights into intra- and interspecies communication, population-level cooperation in bacteria, and about the design principles that underline signal transduction and information processing at the cellular level. Her investigations and research has led to synthetic strategies for controlling quorum sensing. Her work has wide-ranging implications for the development of new antimicrobial therapeutics and medications and the next generation of antibiotics. For all of this, today the Wolf Prize in Chemistry is awarded.
sincerely thank the Wolf Foundation for this meaningful prize that I accept on behalf of myself and the members of my lab. My lab showed that bacteria talk with chemical words, and they listen, they count, they work as groups. Acting collectively allows bacteria to accomplish tasks that they just couldn't do if they acted alone, because individually, each bacterial cell is too small to make a difference. We call this chemical communication process quorum sensing, and it is required for bacteria to mount infections. My lab developed biomedical quorum sensing interference therapies that render virulent bacteria harmless. We are awarded the Wolf Prize for those findings. It is a privilege to live a life of discovery, and I know it. For me, the best part is making discoveries together with the trainees who come through my lab to go on a science adventure with the goal of alleviated human suffering. We did this together. Thank you.
The Wolf Prize for Chemistry is awarded to Professor Carolyn Bertozzi. This award is presented to her for pioneering work in bioorthogonal chemistry, in understanding glycocalyx and its roles in both health and prevention of disease, and allowing bioimaging, chemoproteomics, and the development of pharmaceuticals. Bertozzi's research has focused on the profile of changes in the glycosylation of the cell surface. She established the field of bioorthogonal chemistry that allows researchers to chemically modify molecules within living systems without interfering with local biochemical processes. Her pioneering work has opened up basic drug discovery and therapeutic applications associated with cancer, inflammations, bacterial infection, tuberculosis, and most recently, COVID-19. For all of this and more, today the Wolf Prize for Chemistry is being awarded to Professor
I'd like to express my gratitude to the Wolf Foundation for this incredible honor. It's such a special occasion for me, and in particular for the students and the postdocs, the undergraduates, and all the staff who have worked in my lab for the last 26 years. I'm here receiving this award, but I do so on behalf of so many trainees that have made important contributions and took a risk to do science at the interface of chemistry and biology at a time when it really wasn't all that conventional. Finally, I'd like to say that to the extent that the Wolf Foundation casts a spotlight on me, I'd like to think of myself as a role model for all of the younger women who aspire to be chemists and scientists more broadly. The future is very bright for all of us. Thank you.
Professor
Benjamin Kurvat. Professor Benjamin Kurvat has won the Wolf Prize for developing methods to profile proteins that have created a powerful chemical proteomic strategy to profile the enzyme functions in biological systems. He used these approaches to understand enzymatic processes in human biology and in disease situations, including those that are tied to cancer and neurological disorders, and in the endocannabinoid system, which is involved in appetite regulation, pain sensation, mood, memory, and other physiological processes. For all of this and more, the Wolf Prize in Chemistry is awarded today to Professor Benjamin Kurvat.
I first wanted to express my gratitude to the Wolf Foundation for organizing such an incredible week of scientific, cultural, and social events. It has been a tremendous experience and honor to participate, especially alongside Bonnie and Carolyn. When reflecting on this award, I feel extremely indebted to the outstanding members of our group, past and present, as well as the many collaborators with whom I've had the privilege of working over the past 25 years. It has been both exhilarating and humbling to watch their ingenuity, creativity, and persistence. I also wish to thank my parents, and in particular my mother, Sue, who is with us here today. She instilled in me from my earliest memories the value of education and of always being curious and committed to a life of learning. As I reflect on my independent career, I can say with certainty that none of it would have been possible without my wife, Celia. I am in awe of her intelligence, wit, strength of character, and most importantly, tolerance of my many shortcomings. Last, I wanted to reflect for a moment on my graduate mentors, Drs. Dale Boger and Richard Lerner, who taught me how to become a research scientist, how to pick impactful problems, to work through rather than retreat from technical challenges, to communicate findings with clarity and purpose, and most importantly, how to be kind and generous to others.
I am honored to call up Professor Chagai Metzer, a member of the Council, to present the Prize Committee's decision in the field of physics. The Wolf Prize for Physics for 2022 is awarded to three scientists: Professor Anne Louillier, to Professor Paul Corkum from Ottawa University, and to Professor Franz Krauss from the Max Planck Institute of Quantum Optics and NLMU Munich. Anne Louillier, Paul Corkum, and Franz Krauss share the 2022 Wolf Prize in Physics for pioneering and novel work in the fields of ultra-fast laser science and attosecond physics, and for demonstrating time-resolving imaging of electron motion in atoms, molecules, and solids. Each of them made crucial contributions both to the technical development of attosecond physics and to the application into fundamental physics studies. Attoscience is about the interaction between light-matter interaction, where attosecond photon pulses with unprecedented time resolution that are used to unravel quantum dynamic processes in atoms, molecules, solids, and plasma. Anne L'Huillier. She is winning the Wolf Prize on being one of the first to demonstrate the creating this process that creates the attosecond process, and she's made a major contribution to developing the theoretical description of this process. She's done several trials that have improved the understanding of this process, and she was a major player in creating the attosecond science field. For all of this and more, today's Wolf Prize on Physics.
Dear members of the Wolf Foundation, dear laureates, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, I'm very honored, proud and thankful to get the Wolf Prize. The prize motivation encompasses almost all my scientific journey, so let me say a few words about it. It started in France, where I lived half of my life. I'm very thankful to my French family, my French education with so many inspiring teachers, my French colleagues, during the first part of my career. The second half of my life has been in Sweden. Thank you, my Swedish family, husband and sons, for making this so enjoyable. Thank you, all of my colleagues and students at Lund University. Finally, it feels fantastic to be the second woman to get the Wolf Prize in physics. To the young girls everywhere in the world, if you like physics, I really recommend it. It is certainly a demanding career, but so much fun and so rewarding. Nothing replaces the great moments where you see something unexpected in the lab, when you get a new idea, or when years of struggle come to an end, the puzzle pieces fall into place. Thank you very much.
Paul Corkum. The laureate of the Wolf Prize, who has established the understanding of high harmonic generation through his semi-classical recollision model that underlies the formation of attosecond pulses. Under the influence of a strong laser field, an electron can go through accelerated tunneling from an atomic or molecular potential. It ultimately emits high-order harmonics. The emitted harmonic spectrum is sensitive to the evolution in time of the atom or molecular structure. This high harmonic spectroscopy allowed him to demonstrate the visibility to image a molecular orbital. And for all of this today, the Wolf Prize in Physics is today being awarded to
I had never seen a laser before I arrived at National Research Council, but very rapidly I became interested in ultra-short pulses. I established a lab, and on the door of my lab one day appeared, written by David Villeneuve, who's at this meeting, one day appeared Paul's picosecond piler. And that described the duration of pulses at that time. They were in picoseconds. But over the next decade or so, the pulse duration fell to attoseconds. And one day, on my laboratory, I saw crossed out pulse picosecond piler and writing pulse attosecond piler. It was a great privilege to help establish it to be pulse attosecond piler.
Ferenc Krauss is awarded the Wolf Prize for showing that the harmonic pulses have durations in the attosecond range. He has also contributed to building a few cycle laser pulses and the study of the time dependence of numeral, atomic, and molecular physical processes. Krauss realized the feasibility of experience with time resolution in the attosecond range, and this allowed people to study the photoionization in real time and proved what was known as a Wigner delay in the photo emission of electrons as a result with interactions with photons. For all of this and more, the Wolf Prize in Physics is awarded today to Professor
It is a great honor for me to have been chosen as a co-winner of the Wolf Prize in Physics 2022. I'm deeply humbled to join the very select group of prior recipients of this prestigious award. It is a special pleasure to share this prize with Anne-Louis Ley and Paul Corko. I would certainly not be here without the support of my family, particularly of my wife. There is not enough time to cite the names of all persons in my life who helped me grow, learn and achieve. I'm deeply indebted to all of them, including my fellow collaborators who have contributed so much to our collective effort. In the spirit of the noble humanitarian goals of the Wolf Foundation, I donate the monetary part of the award via our initiative Science for People to a Ukrainian youth organization to mitigate the suffering of children, teenagers and students deprived of their homes or of their schools or both. Although our actions are only drops in the ocean, every individual whom we can assist makes worth every effort.
אני מתכבדת להזמין את פרופסור מיכאל לין, חבר מועצת קרן וולף, להציג את החלטות ועדת הפרסים בפרס וולף במתמטיקה.
לא צריך למחוא כף לי, צריך למחוא כף
just to me. You have to be applauding for the laureates.
פרס וולף במתמטיקה לשנת 2022 מוענק לפרופסור ג'ורג' לוסטיג. מהמכון הטכנולוגי של מסצ'וסטס, MIT. ג'ורג' לוסטיג זוכה בפרס וולף על תרומותיו פורצות הדרך לתורת ההצגות ולתחומים קשורים. לוסטיג ידוע בעבודתו על תורת ההצגות, בפרט על האובייקטים הקשורים קשר הדוק לחברות אלגבריות כגון חבורות רדוקטיביות סופיות, אלגבראות הקה, חבורות פיאדיות, חבורות קוונטיות וחבורות קוואי. לוסטיג למעשה סלל את הדרך לתורת ההצגות המודרנית. זה כלל מושגים בסיסיים חדשים, כולל אלומות קרקטרים, אלומות דלין לוסטיג והפולינומים של קשדן לוסטיג.
Kazhdan-Lustig polynomials.
עבודתו של לוסטיג מאופיינת ברמה גבוהה מאוד של מקוריות, רוחב עצום של נושאים, וירטואוזיות טכנית מרשימה, והעמקה רבה בהגעה ללב הבעיות הכרוכות בכך. תרומותיו פורצות הדרך של לוסטיג מסמנות אותו כאחד המתמטיקאים הגדולים בני זמננו. על כל זאת ועוד מוענק
Today, the Wolf Prize in Mathematics is awarded to Professor George.
I want to thank the Wolf Foundation for selecting me for this prize. I feel very honored by it. And I want to thank my teachers for teaching me mathematics. For example, Maria Neumann in Timișoara, Kostake Telemann in Bucharest, Michael Attia in Oxford and Princeton. I have learned a lot from my colleagues, such as Pierre Deline in Paris and David Kashdan in Harvard. I'm also happy to say that my wife has supported me over the years, and I'm very grateful to her.
I'm honored to call to the stage the architect rector to present the decisions of the committee for architecture for 2022. Okay, so architecture. Finally. The Wolf Prize for Architecture for 2022 is awarded jointly to Professor Elizabeth Diller from DSNR and Princeton University, and to Professor Momoyo Kaijima from the Atelier Bauhaus Studio and the Zurich Institute of Technology, ETH, in Switzerland, and to Professor Yoshiharu Tsukamoto from Atelier Boao Studio and the Tokyo Institute of Technology, TIT, in Japan. In times of significant global change, when social and cultural values are called into question, these three people are exceptional in their ability to challenge the norms in order to advance the field of architecture and its broader impacts. Even though the three are very different in what they've done, they share the essential trait of combining research, pedagogy, and practice in order to promote the field of architecture. Professor Elizabeth Diller. The recipient of the Wolf Prize for exceptional and influential work connecting architecture to artistic practice engaged in the public domain. The intention and the ability to break down the boundaries between art and architecture is inherent in her work. During her studies, Elizabeth met her partner and spouse Riccardo Scofidio, and together they founded DS+R architecture firm, Diller, Scofidio, and Renfro. Diller specializes in cultural structures, and she's responsible for radical and groundbreaking projects. Her activities, which shift between academia, research, and practice, challenge the relationships between architecture and art. A large part of her important works were in the design of public spaces, which are greatly impacted by the space, theater spaces, museums, and are translated into European urban landscape architecture. Her approach reshaped the perception of the subject versus the space. For all of this and more, the Wolf Prize for Architecture is presented to
It's an honor to be invited to Israel and to be part of a group that's diverse in disciplines and personal backgrounds. In an era of increasing nationalisms, this gathering of minds and talents is a much-needed antidote to the prevailing polarization of today. Thank you to the Wolf Foundation for recognizing architecture and rewarding two unconventional practices this year. I'm accepting this award solo, but I'm representing a highly collaborative studio that stands at the intersection of architecture and the visual and performing arts. Our work, whether temporary or permanent, is driven by the desire to rethink institutions, to democratize space for public use, to tackle social and environmental problems, and to improve cities. We're driven by passion and fueled by a healthy dose of naivete, which is critical to fight the habitual resistance to change of those in power. I consider myself not only a problem solver, but a problem maker.
Momoyo Kaijima and Yoshiharu Tsukamoto. the recipients of the Wolf Prize in Architecture for their work, both in the things that they've written and in the things that they've done, that highlights the importance of ethnographic and residential characteristics to architecture. The two co-founded the Atelier Bow Wow Architect's Office. The fruitful work of the two spans 3 decades and is characterized, among other things, by this concept that they coined, architectural behaviorology. The behavior of nature and humans that influence architectural design in relation to the unique characteristics of a human society and the place in which it develops. Ever since they started working together, Kaijama and Tsukamoto have consistently demonstrated that they are exceptional architects that connect research to practice and propose alternate ways that will make architecture focus on its social influences. The two have had a profound impact on the younger generation and on alternative and innovative concepts in architecture, focusing on culture and human behavior in an urban environment. For all of this and more, the Wolf Prize in Architecture is awarded today to architect Yoshihiro Tsukamoto.
Thank you for Wolf Foundation to give me a great prize. And thank you for my ETA school and also former University of Tsukuba. And they helped me a lot for teaching and studies. And thank you for my office at Bow Wow, partner Yoshiharu and also Tama Yoichi. So they support a lot so for to reach this award. And thank you for my family and friends. I'm very glad to share this award with you. Thank you.
Momoyo and I are deeply honored to receive the Wolf Prize Laureate in Architecture. We would like to take this opportunity to express my deepest gratitude to everyone who has supported our activities. First of all, to the colleagues at ETH, we are very grateful for the warm welcome we have received and for the nomination of us for this prize. We'd like to thank the colleagues at Tokyo Tech and the University of Tsukuba and the students with whom we have conducted much of our research. Without them, our study in behaviorology and architectural ethnography wouldn't have been possible. And to Yoichi Tamai, our partner at Atelier Bauer, and all the staff, our clients and our collaborators, without them, our work organically linking research and design practice wouldn't have been possible. And to our family and friends, without their consistent support, we wouldn't have been able to continue our activities as delightfully as we have. We would devote ourselves to not disgrace this prestigious award and will continue to use our architectural knowledge and skills to achieve a more sustainable society for the future. Thank you very much.
Distinguished guests, these are the Wolf Prize laureates for 2022. I have no doubt that Professor Ricardo Wolf would have been filled with pride had he lived to see you. And now I would like to invite the 11 laureates of the Wolf Prize for 2022 to the front of the stage to receive the Wolf Medal for Excellence, which will be bestowed by the President of the State of Israel, His Excellency Mr. Isaac Herzog. I would like to call the Minister of Education, Dr. Yifat Shishan Briton, Evgeny Sova, and the acting chairperson, Professor Dan Shechtman, the acting chairman of the council, to join the recipients of the award. Ladies and gentlemen, these are the laureates of the Wolf Prize for 2022. I'm honored to invite the members of the Wolf Foundation Council, the management and the trustees to join the laureates. Chairperson of the Board of Trustees, Mr. Zev Abelis, Dr. Talia Arani, Director General Mrs. Reut Berman, Council members, Professor Chagai Netzer, Dr. Hannah Kennedy, Professor Ehud Kainan, Professor Michael Lin, Architect Amnon Rechter, and Dr. Tzipi Landau. Distinguished guests, for the singing of the national anthem, Hatikva, we ask everyone in the audience to please rise. Dear audience, please stay in your seats until the Honorable President, His Excellency, and the presiding members of the Presidium leave the hall.